So then, after 3 months of waiting, I finally got round to recording my rankings of the EFL League One away kits for the 2022-23 season. We're back with the tier list, so if you do enjoy these, please do let me know and give me some ideas to do some more, because I do enjoy doing these type of videos. But like always, I don't mean to offend anyone. These are solely based on the kits and nothing else. Nothing to do with the club, nothing to do with the fan base, just the aesthetic of the shirt. If you do go on to enjoy today's video, please do smash like and subscribe. At the time of filming this, we are so close to 2,000 subscribers, so if you could subscribe and help me hit that, it would mean the absolute world. But enough of the talk, let's get into the rankings. So as always, we've got 5 categories: top class, decent, average, not great and dreadful. And as always, we'll be going through all 24 League One away kits in alphabetical order. So kicking off then, we have Accrington Stanley. Now, this is not a bad shirt, but just like their home shirt, it's an Adidas template. And for me, if there's no creativity behind it, it's just solely a template, not even an attempt to use any wacky colours or anything, it's got to be plain boring. And for me, it's not great at all. So for that reason, it is going to go into the not great category. Not the greatest of starts. Moving on then to Barnsley, a club I do admire a lot. However, I am not a fan of this away shirt. I think there's too much going on. The red kind of clashes with the colours of this shirt. For me, it's also a bit of a weird pattern, and it just does not go down well with me. So it's a bit of a negative start to the rankings, but this is also going to go in not great. Moving on then to Bristol Rovers, and this is quite a strange kit in that the pattern is very different. I don't know what it's meant to be, but I actually quite like it. I like the colours used. I think it's simple, but it works well, and it's effective, and I do quite like it. So for that reason, I'm going to put it in decent. Not bad at all. Next up then, we do have Bolton, of course, the Papa John's Trophy winners. For me, it's a simple kit. I do like the colours used. Any shirt that is of this kind of colour of blue, I do like a lot. It's quite similar to a sort of colour we had for our away kit. Not this one, but the last one, the light blue one. I'll put a picture of that on screen. It was a very nice shirt. This is a similar colour to that. It's not bad. It's simple, but I just don't like the sponsor. I still can't get on with it. If there was a bit more of a pattern to this shirt, then maybe it would have crept into decent, because I do quite like it. But if I'm being honest, the sponsor again overpowers it a bit. It's a bit too simple. Could have done a bit more with it. For me, it's going to go in average, but it's very close to being on the borderline of decent. So moving on then to Burton Albion. Of course, it's a simple black and white shirt. The sponsor works fairly well. The badge sits nicely on the shirt. My only pet peeve with this is it's got the repetition of the club's initials, BAFC, on the shirt, and I believe it fades away. You guys will see an image on screen. Now, I don't know if I like that. I think they would have been better off with going for maybe a map of Burton like they did with previous shirts. It would have suited the black, I think, better. It's still not a bad shirt, and before recording this, I was thinking I'd put this in decent, but now I think about it, do I like the BAFC on the shirt? I'm not too sure. So for that reason, I'm going to put it in average, just purely because I am a bit on the fence. Next up, we do have probably my favourite away shirt this season in League One. It is Cambridge United. It's a beautiful light blue strip. The sponsor is quite big, but it's not a betting sponsor or anything, so we can give it an excuse. It's not a bad sponsor at all, of course, in the local area of East Anglia. It's another kit made by Hummel, and you guys know by now, I love a Hummel shirt. If Hummel want to become Cheltenham's kit maker, please do. I would love to see some Cheltenham Hummel shirts, but this is an absolute masterpiece. A simple lower tinge of blue as the pattern in the background, and then the Hummel chevrons on the shoulders. It is absolutely beautiful. I love it. Cambridge has had some great kits in recent years, and this is another one. It's going in top class. Next up then, we do have Charlton Athletic, and this is a team that haven't had any truly eye-catching shirts in recent years. And if I'm being honest, this is another one of those. It's pretty bang average for me. It's not bad. It's not great. Sponsor's quite big, but again, it's not a bad sponsor. I'm not sure on the black cut-off under the arms, but I guess it doesn't look awful on it. Club's colours of white, black, and red, of course. It's okay, isn't it? It's nothing special. I'm going to put it in average. Next up then, we do have my team, Cheltenham, of course. I am quite a big fan of this kit. It's nice and simple. I like the 2 tinges of blue. But if I'm being honest, because there's not really any pattern to it, it can't go any higher than average. That's me being unbiased. Next up then, we do have Derby County, and it's another pretty simple shirt. Of course, the donated sponsor of the NSPCC. It's a great sponsor, so fair play to the club for that. I do quite like the pattern on the shoulders, but for me it's not really too eye-catching. I'm not too keen on the colour combination of the black and the dark green. For me, it just doesn't really go too well. They could have done a bit more with it, maybe incorporated a bit more green or a bit less green. For me, it's a bit of a... It's not really a happy medium between the two. Again, it's another one that's going to go an average. Next up then, we do have Exeter City. Now, this was a really, really tough one to decide on because I think the black and pink combination looks absolutely beautiful. I do love it. Sponsor doesn't work too well with the shirt. And another downside is I really don't like the design and the pattern at the bottom of the shirt. I think they could have done maybe something different, maybe just some simple pinstripes on the shirt or something like that in pink would have looked a lot better. I do quite like the collar, but that pattern at the bottom of the shirt is not doing it for me. I love the colour combination, but if you don't use that colour combination well, it can still make a bad shirt. It's not terrible, but for me, it's going to go in not great. Next up then, we do have Fleetwood Town. Now, This is probably one that people have mixed opinions on because there is quite a lot going on across the map of Fleetwood in the background behind the badge and the sponsor. The sponsor doesn't overpower the shirt, which is great. But for me, it's another Hummel shirt, and I'm not just saying this because it's a Hummel shirt. I think it's another absolute masterpiece. The light blue and the dark blue of the shoulders works lovely. The pattern and the matte behind looks absolutely brilliant on the shirt, and it's just the right tinge of blue. Only thing is, obviously, it's a red badge on a blue shirt, but there's not a lot you can do there. For me, it's another light blue shirt, it's another Hummel shirt, and it's another one in top class. Moving on to Forest Green then, and from one polar opposite to another, need I say more? It's pink and black. It doesn't look as nice as Exeter's pink and black. If I'm being honest, it looks absolutely horrendous. Dreadful. And that's not even because it's Forest Green and I'm a Cheltenham fan. If I'm being honest, I think they've had some decent kits in recent years. That is horrible. Ipswich Town, and this is a really frustrating one because the red and black on an Ipswich shirt looks absolutely wonderful. But what is going on with the pattern of the stripes? It looks like a barcode. If you took the shirt to Tesco's and you scanned it, it would probably come up on the self-checkout. It's still not a terrible shirt, but it's just I don't understand the pattern and it's painful because those colours with the badge and the sponsor could be an unbelievable shirt. But I don't know where the patterns come from. I don't know if there's a reason behind it. So Ipswich fans, do let me know in the comments if there is. But even still, I'm not a massive fan of this shirt, to be honest, purely because it's ruined by whoever thought putting a barcode on a shirt would be a good idea. So there you go. It's going in not great, unfortunately. Next up then, we do have Lincoln. Now, I'm a big fan of this shirt. The one thing that lets it down is the sponsor. I think it contrasts too much with the colours of the shirt. It clashes a bit. Obviously, it's white with a bit of green on. It doesn't really suit the shirt, but obviously there's not a lot they can do about that. They maybe could have asked to change the colour of it for the shirt. If they'd have done that, it would have probably been in the top category. I think Area have absolutely smashed it with this shirt, and I think Area have done a great job on a lot of shirts in recent years. Of course, this Cheltenham home shirt that I'm wearing now is an absolute masterpiece. But this one is great as well. It's just the sponsor that slightly lets it down for me, but Lincoln is still going to go in decent. Solid shirt. MK Dons, and this is just a bit of a weird one. I think it's an okay shirt. The pattern behind it's just a bit weird, isn't it, really? I mean, it just looks like a PowerPoint background, if I'm being honest. It's just they've put it on the back of the shirt, they've whacked the logos on, and that's been done. So for me, it's just going to go in average, and there's not really a lot more I've got to say on it. Next up then, we do have Morecambe, and I have written down my opinions on the kits before this video, but I was initially going to put this one in the bottom category, but I'm questioning myself because I don't like this shirt at all, right? I don't. But is it that bad to go into the bottom category? I don't know. The kind of camo blue pattern I don't really like. it clashes with the shoulders in terms of the pattern doesn't continue, it doesn't fade out. I don't like the gold badge and sponsor. I think they could have just done it in white or another tinge of blue. Yeah, I'll be honest, I really don't like this shirt, unfortunately, so I am going to put it in the bottom category, but it's not as bad as the forest green one, and the other one, there is one left to go into this bottom category. But yeah, I'm not a fan. Oxford, and need I say more? It's alright. Nothing wrong with it. Nothing crazily good about it. It's okay. Next up then we got Peterborough, and I actually haven't written this one down purely because I don't know where I'm going to put it still at the time of saying this. How do I describe it? It's just like a paint splatter shirt, really, isn't it? I think it's like a tinge of turquoise. It's alright. I think I quite like it, but is it as good as these shirts and decent? Probably not. I'm going to put it in average, but that's purely because I think I'm just sat so much on the fence that I can't really lean either way. Next up then we got Plymouth Argyle, and they've got some great shirts this season. This probably isn't one of the better ones, but it's still a very nice away shirt. I like the colour combinations of the white, the green and the black. It's a solid shirt. There's nothing too much going on, but it's a nice pattern, nice colourways. I like it. Decent. Next up we do have Pompey. Now, it's another template. Is my only problem with it. It's another Nike template, but the black and the gold is beautiful. I absolutely love it. The sponsor could work better, but it is what it is. I think it's a solid shirt. I'm going to put it in decent, but I wouldn't quite say it's up there with the three that I've already put in decent, but I still do like it. Moving on to Port Vale then, and yeah, no disrespect, I don't like it. There's way too much going on. I genuinely look at it. It makes me dizzy just looking at it. There's so much going on. The pattern is crazy, to be honest. I think it would look better if maybe it was 2 tinges of blue, maybe. It might look a bit less strange, I think. And then, of course, the yellowy gold colour of the sponsor and the badge. It just doesn't work for me. So yeah, I'm sorry. There probably will be people out there that like this shirt. It probably looks better in person, to be honest. But in my opinion, no. Next up, we do have Wednesday. I actually love this shirt. It's simple. It's very simple. But the sponsor works perfectly. I love the blue and yellow. I like the light blue trim on the bottom of the arms. And I like the light blue trim around the collar. Now, it probably should go an average. But I do quite like this shirt. It's nice and traditional. It suits the old style of Sheffield Wednesday. They're a great historic club, and I think this shirt suits them perfectly. So for me, it's going to be indecent. The penultimate shirt, then we've got Shrewsbury Town. Again, very, very similar to the other Umbro shirts on this list in Derby County. It's a simple black shirt with different shoulders and arms. This time red on the shoulders and arms. Again, it's a bit of a weird pattern. I actually do like it more than the Derby one, but again, it's just okay, isn't it? There's a lot in average here, but I think you'll all agree it's just an alright shirt. There's nothing really too crazy about it. And finally, we do have Wycombe. Now, Wycombe either have some great shirts or some not great shirts, and there's not really any in between. This genuinely, I mean, it wouldn't surprise me if you'd have told me it was a goalkeeper shirt. It's orange, it's boring, it's just, no. It's not going in dreadful. It's going in not great. It's just, yeah, I'm not a fan of this shirt, and I think we can all agree that it could be a lot better. Sponsor works okay, but obviously it's orange. Doesn't really link to any of the colours of Wycombe. I'm not a fan. So this is my final rankings of this season's League One away shirts. Feel free to comment down below your thoughts and opinions on these shirts. And if you disagree or agree with any of my points, get in the comments. I always like to have a chat about people's opinions. I think this has pretty much hit the nail on the head with my opinions. Maybe a couple, if I could make a couple other categories in between some, there will probably be some differences. But if I'm going to put it into these 5 categories, that is about as accurate as it gets, in my opinion. So that does conclude today's video. If you did enjoy, please do smash like and subscribe as always. We are so close to 2k, so like I said, help me hit that. It would be in the world. But yeah, have a class rest of your day, and I'll see you in the next one.